going to take the long side, and then we kind of want to flip the scarf over our head like so. How are you? How are you? Welcome to today's newest episode of Lamarr Does Life. Make sure you guys subscribe to my main YouTube channel, Lamarr Townsend Tarot, where I do astrology, psychic readings, tarot readings. Also, if you want a reading from me, because that is my main job as a psychic, an astrologer, a tarot reader, a spiritualist, a light worker, whatever you want to call me. That is my day job or my main job. This is my second channel where, I just post fun videos, vlogs, lifestyle, stuff like that. So if you want a reading, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. But that's not why we're here. That's not why we're here. I haven't had my coffee today yet, surprisingly. And I didn't wake up in like a bad mood per se, but I also didn't wake up in like the best mood. So I think I just have the ability when a camera turns on, I come to life. But when like the camera goes off and my work is done, I just go back to real life. And real life for me is chill. I'm very quiet, very introverted. But when it's lights, camera, action, I'm like, so I don't know. Some people get confused by it because when they meet me in person, they're like, oh, you're so chill and quiet. And it's like, yeah, that's me. But anyway, I'm going on a rant. I am here to show you something, I guess do a tutorial of something that seems quite simple but actually isn't so. A lot of people do it differently. This is also something that is not just, what's the word I want to use? Is not just specific to black culture, I guess. A lot of people wrap their hair at night. A lot of people wear bonnets. It's a great way of protecting your hair from breakage. It's a great way of ensuring that your hair maintains its moisture, throughout the night, throughout the day. Sometimes it can be a good fashion statement depending on what type you're wearing. Bonnets are always, kind of iffy, but I love scarves. I actually have a bonnet somewhere around here that I used to wear when I was straightening my hair, but I have no idea where that thing is. Probably in my closet somewhere. So, I do have a bonnet, just one, but I prefer using scarves. I have so many scarves. Let's talk about wrapping your hair and the importance of protecting your hair, not only for practical purposes, but spiritual purposes as well. I am a spiritualist, I am a psychic, I am a tarot reader, I am an astrologer. That is my job, that is my career. So I'm always going to come from that perspective, right? When it comes to wrapping your hair is so a huge part of who you are. Your hair is your crown chakra. We all have chakras. There's 7 main chakras, although there are way more. It's said that there's way more. But there's 7 main chakras, and they all kind of go in a line, starting from the top of your head, which is called your crown chakra, all the way down to around your pelvis, which is the last chakra, the root chakra. So your crown chakra is, all the chakras are important and can be vulnerable to outside energies. And, outside energies latching onto your chakras and therefore draining your energy. But the crown chakra in particular can be very vulnerable and susceptible to psychic attacks and stuff like that because it's your crown chakra. So when it comes to the divine spirits and angels coming through and giving you messages, the first chakra they would go through is your crown chakra. This is how you get downloads and messages from the divine, your higher self. It comes through your crown chakra, your third eye, and all the way down to your root chakra where you, the message, the information, whatever download you're receiving, once it reaches that root chakra, it becomes firmly grounded or ungrounded, depending on how you approach the situation, in yourself. Alright, so that's kind of a quip about that. That's why it's important spiritually to protect your hair and your crown chakra. Your hair is your crown chakra. Whether you have hair or you don't have hair, it's good to protect your crown chakra. Your head itself is a very, I guess we could say vulnerable place. A lot of us are particular about our hair, whether we wear wigs, whether we have no hair, whether we're bald, whether, we have an afro, whether we have straight hair, curly hair, whatever it is. You know, a lot of people are very particular, very sensitive about their hair. You know, it's kind of the thing where my mom, for example, always gets her hair done, you know, and she has her specific stylist she goes to, you know. And I think most people are like that, you know. Men have their specific barber that they go to, you know, like, you know, there's a barber full of, you know, they may go into a barbershop full of barbers, but, you know, they want that one barber that they've been going to for the past 5 years or 2 months or however long it's been, right? So it's like we're very particular about our hair, and this is one of the reasons why you want to wear a scarf when it comes to protecting your hair. Another thing that you can do, which I also do, is that you can have satin pillows, satin sheets, satin blankets, which I have all of these things as well. So if I do forget to wear my scarf, you know, at least I have my hair on satin. This is particularly good for people who do have African textured curly hair, but it's also good for people who have straight hair too. Now, obviously I don't have straight hair naturally, so I don't know how that would go, but I do naturally have curly kinky hair, right? So for me with curly kinky hair, you know, and if you have curly kinky hair, you may resonate with this. Our hair soaks up way more moisture than, oh my gosh, I'm getting so many text messages. Our curly kinky hair soaks up so much more moisture, which makes it important that when we do moisturize our hair, to make sure that that moisturization is intact and is not lost through our cotton pillows, through our, you know, day-to-day going about life, you know, the air, the dry air, whatever it is. And, you know, wearing a scarf in practical terms is a good way of protecting your hair from loss of moisture, from breakage, also pillows and things of that nature, but it's probably more efficient to have a scarf of some sort. What type of scarf should you be using? The best scarves that you can use for your hair is a satin scarf or a silk scarf. Now this is 100% silk. It is a Coach scarf. Coach is one of my favorite places to get these scarves because number one, I love Coach. And number two, they're very long lasting. I find that anything I buy from Coach, most of the time, I did buy one pair of flip-flops that broke on me, which I was upset about because they were $80, so they were not cheap. Shoes I buy from Coach, clothing I buy from Coach, bags I buy from Coach last a long time. So that's why I like to buy my scarves from Coach. Also, I am bougie, so that could be a part of it too. But yes, the best scarves that you can use for your hair are typically silk and satin. I do also have some satin scarves, but when it comes to satin scarves, I tend to like to make them on my own. I'll go to Joann Fabrics or a fabric store, get some satin fabric that I really like, and then I'll just sew, you know, the scarf, you know, and make it myself. Maybe I'll show you guys that process one day. I did show it on my main YouTube channel, but maybe I should do something with sewing on my lifestyle channel over here because I love sewing too. But yes, these are the reasons why you want to wear a scarf and the type of scarf you should be wearing. Now also one of the reasons why I love silk scarves in particular, but satin could also, you know, go well as well, is that they can be very fashionable. A lot of times, and I'm trying to get out of the habit of wearing this because I do wrap my hair every night before I go to bed, or try to. Sometimes I'll fall asleep, but once again I have my satin pillows. The one benefit of wrapping your hair in a scarf is it's, you know, depending on what type of scarf you buy, that's why I like to buy high-end scarves, is that quality, but also the look, the aesthetic. If you wrap your hair right, which I'm going to show you how to actually wrap your hair with this scarf or with any satin or silk scarf that you have, when you wrap your hair right, it can look very fashionable. When you use the right scarf to wrap your hair, you know, even aesthetic-wise, it can look very fashionable. So you can have your hair wrapped, and you can go out on the town if you want to. You can go run some errands and not look crazy, and not look in the same category necessarily as the people who are walking around in bonnets. You know, which we won't name them or judge them, but maybe not so aesthetically pleasing when you're wearing a bonnet, you know, at the grocery store or whatever, what so have you. And you could be having the best outfit ever, but if you have a bonnet on your head, it just takes the outfit down a couple notches. However, when you have this scarf on your head, it almost seems like it's a part of the look. You know, it doesn't come off as, oh, you know, they're wearing a head wrap, they're protecting their hair, so which is the practical purpose of it, of course, right? But you know, the spiritual purposes and things of that nature, you know, all of this can be kind of camouflaged by wearing a really quality silk or satin scarf. So I say all this to say, get a quality scarf if you can. You don't have to go to Coach and spend, I don't know, $80 or however much this was. I don't remember. You know, there's some really nice scarves at other places. Maybe, you know, Target, Walmart, I'm not sure. But just get a good quality scarf that's going to last you a long time, and that you can not just wear to bed, but, you know, if you wake up and you have to go run an errand or take the kids to school or whatever, you can, you know, keep your hair wrapped and go do what you need to do and not look crazy, all right? So I hope I got everything out of the way. Did I get everything out of the way? We talked about the benefits of wrapping your hair, why you should wrap your hair. We talked about the types of scarf you should be using and the aesthetic look of it, and also the spiritual aspect of it. So I think we touched on pretty much everything. I guess now is me actually showing you the process of wrapping your hair. So it's really not that hard to wrap your hair, but it is a process that, you know, and it's interesting because it seems like it wouldn't be hard. But it took me a couple tries, a couple tutorials, watching a couple tutorials to really figure out what worked for me. So when it comes to wrapping our hair, we want to wrap it in a way that the scarf will not come off, which is something that so many people struggle with, you know, is, you know, like wild sleepers. I'm a wild sleeper in particular, so sorry to my future boyfriend who has to deal with that. When it comes to sleeping or just going about our day, particularly with sleeping though, I find a lot of people struggle with wrapping their hair, and then by the time they wake up, their hair wrap, their bonnet, you know, is off their head and, you know, somewhere else for them to find, you know. How I'm going to show you when it comes to wrapping your hair, I'm going to show you a process, a foolproof process that will ensure that your scarf will stay on for as long as you want to keep it on. You know, the only time it'll come off is when you take it off. I have had great success with this way of wrapping my hair. I have never actually had my scarf or hair wrap come off at all when I wrap my hair this way. But it may take a couple tries for you, all right? So the first thing that we want to do is that we want to pull the scarf and just look at the sizing. Now, as you can see, this is a really big scarf. I don't know exactly how long it is, but it's a pretty huge scarf, as you can see. Alright, so we also want to look at what is the longest side of the scarf, because the longest side is the side that we want to use. Alright, now a lot of times scarves you buy, the sides will be all the same pretty much. So if they're all the same length on the sides, you could use any side that you want. But as you can see, it looks like I tend to use this side the most with the way it's kind of stretched. So I guess we're going to go with that then, since I tend to use this side. But essentially I could use any side that I wanted. But say, okay, we're going to just go for the purposes of this tutorial that this is the longest side. Once you figured out what the longest side is, you take that long side and you want to make sure that, I think this is double-sided, so it doesn't really matter which side I put on, you know, my head this way, and then but you want to make sure that first of all, any scarf you buy, you want to make sure both sides are satin and or silk. And then the satin and or silk part, if it's not double silk or double satin, you want to make sure you put the satin or silk part on your actual head, so your hair is not like rubbing against any rough texture or rough cloth. However, if you have a double-sided satin or silk scarf, then you don't need to worry about that. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to take the long side, and then we kind of want to flip the scarf over our head like so. So now we have the long side on top of our crown chakra, basically, and we want to take the long ends, you know, with, I guess this would be our index finger and our thumb, or our pointer finger and our thumb, on both sides, and we want to, you know, take the scarf and do it like so. Alright, stretch it, and then what we want to do is take the sides I like to tuck it behind my ears because obviously you don't want the scarf covering your ears. So that's what we want to do, is we want to tuck it behind our ears, alright? And then we want to take the long sides and tie it like so. And maybe I'll turn around to show you. Take the long sides, put it around your ears, and then tie it over top of the satin scarf. Tie it in a knot. Make sure you get all your hair up in there. Tie it in a knot. Make sure you tie it kind of tight because you don't want it to come off, but don't tie it so tight that you like cut off the circulation to your brain or something like that. Like, we don't need any injuries. And I just do one knot like that. Now, one thing you also may want to do is you may want to take the sides here and kind of pull them down so it has a rounded view in the front. And you could essentially leave it like this if you wanted to, but be mindful that, you know, if you have a long scarf, you still have this long piece right here that, you know, if it snags on something, may pull it off. But for the most part, that doesn't happen because we've tied it on pretty tight here. But I take another step, alright, particularly when I go to bed because I want to ensure that my scarf does not come off. So then what we want to do is we kind of want to do the same process with this end. But a lot of times when I go out, I'll just wear my scarf like this, and then, you know, just kind of, you know, have this long piece right here. But if you want to ensure that it does not come off, we need to wrap it again with this long piece. So what we do is we do the same thing. We spread out the long piece, we take both sides, and we flip it over our hair again. Alright. And now we have it like this. Alright. So we just want to do the same thing. We take the long piece, tuck it behind our ears, and then we want to take both sides of the scarf. Alright, the remaining sides of the scarf, take what's left and then wrap it over. And then I also like to tie a double knot too at the end. Alright. And this is how I tie my scarf for bed, or at night when I'm just pretty much done with everything and I'm going to bed in a couple hours. This is what I will do when it comes to wrapping my hair. It's super easy. It may take a couple tries. It may take some practicing in the mirror, but it's really, really easy. Once again, when you get a good scarf and when you get good at it, it becomes so fun. Like, I have so many scarves in my closet that I technically only stick to a couple of them, but you know, when I want to grab a certain scarf to go with the color scheme I have going on, I can do that. It gets really fun, you know, the more that you learn to wrap your hair and wear scarves and stuff like that. It really becomes a fashion statement. So I'm actually going to take this off though, because I am just now waking up and starting my day, and it's kind of hot. So even though this is silk, it's like hot in here. So, but that's how you wrap your hair, you guys. Really, really easy. Let me know what you guys think about this process in the comment section below. And, you know, this is not coming off my head, you guys. I mean, like, this thing is pretty much stuck on here, alright? It ain't coming off until I take it off. So, let me know what you guys think about this tutorial in the comment section below about the proper way to wrap your hair with a bonnet or a scarf or, you know, any utensil or a fabric you're using to keep your hair wrapped, your crown chakra wrapped. Alright, you guys, I am going to go off. Thank you for listening and watching. This has been the newest video of Lamarr Does Life things. This is something we all, you know, especially in the black community or people with, you know, curly hair. You know, this is something we all deal with. Like, how do you wrap your hair and make sure the thing stays on, you know, throughout the night? So I hope I was able to help with that. Remember, if you want a personal reading, I am available on my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in your own personal reading. Either way, I'll see you soon. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, and follow. God bless.